We're starting to see more and more Sheetz gas stations and convenience stores pop up in the area. Why neighbors don't want it in one South Toledo neighborhood and what city council members have to say. Plus, an update to the devastating fire that disrupted 5 businesses last week. How the community is rallying around one of those affected.
Very warm but wet weather's been with us across the area on our Monday. Showers are going to be tapering off as we go overnight tonight when dry weather will return. And how about some colder weather that will briefly show up in my 10-day forecast? I'll take you through all the details coming up just a little bit. Kaylee, back over to you.
Thanks for joining us here on WTOL 11 News on Plus on this Monday. I'm Kaylee Marin-Tat. Let's take a look at your top stories for the night. This is a story we've been following for months. Washington local teachers are working without a new contract and have been for 168 days. Whitmer High School students organized a walkout today to show their support for teachers. Students say they wanted the walkout to show teachers they have their back, but also have it be a message to the school board that they want the Teachers Association contract demands to be met.
So we want to see the fair contracts that our teachers deserve. We're out here in the rain because we care about the teachers, we care about the people of this community.
And picking up on that, really they do it for us. They don't do it for the money, they do it for us. They care for us, so this is our respect to the teachers.
The school district and Teachers Association are currently in the fact-finding process. The Teachers Association will decide whether or not to strike next month when the fact-finding proposal is sent back. Toledo City Council will vote later this week on a proposal that involves bringing a new Sheetz gas station near a neighborhood in South Toledo. Silver Barker has been following the story and has an update.
It's not a matter of whom, but a matter of where.
I am not supportive of it for a variety of reasons, but mainly because it's a non-compatible use with the adjacent neighborhood.
Councilman Adam Martinez says he likes the idea of another Sheetz coming to District 2. He just isn't a fan of the fact that it would be close to residential homes and displace businesses in a plaza.
Just not necessarily in that location. They have one right there on Southwick Boulevard, right next to the Amazon that should be going up in the spring. Very supportive of it. Would love to have more in good locations like that in District 2. But this particular one just isn't a good fit.
He says another reason he's opposed to this location is due to the fact that it would be open 24/7.
The city of Toledo, the administration and city council have worked very closely with business owners in neighborhoods to limit hours of operations for gas stations adjacent to neighborhoods. And this has been over at least a decade of work that would kind of be wiped out. So I'm very conscientious of that, and I don't want to set a precedent on and undo all the good work we've done over the past decade.
However, he says the space across from the plaza that is currently for lease with a vacant TGI Fridays would be a better area.
Even though it's next to a neighborhood, but it's a bigger site where they can actually have their drive-through, there can be a bigger buffer, and I don't think it would be as big of an impact as it would or disruptive as by tearing down the plaza there.
In part of a Facebook message sent to me by Teresa Jackson, a woman who lives nearby the proposed location, reads, quote, "A company with that big of an impact on a city should have more communication with the representatives and residents of the city. This is our home. We are not numbers on a company's profit and loss statement," end quote.
That was Silver Barker reporting for us tonight. Well, fans and local artists say they're shocked after a popular Toledo music venue suddenly shut its doors. Ottawa Tavern on Adams Street has been a go-to spot for live music for years, but earlier this month it closed. Artists say there aren't many live venues for non-cover bands and say this closure has a huge impact on Toledo's band scene.
It affects all local musicians. It's really, really heartbreaking because as for local musicians, especially musicians in like the heavier music, there's not a lot of venues. We can't play at like the Cock and Bull or Chevy's. Like, we're not a cover band. So for local music who are trying to express their artistic freedom, it's very, very devastating.
WTOL 11 reached out to the owner of Ottawa Tavern for comment, but haven't heard back yet. There's a fundraiser underway to help a Toledo restaurant impacted by a fire. It's been a week since Rice King in South Toledo was heavily damaged by a plaza fire that also shut down 4 other businesses. There's a fundraiser happening today at Lafayette's Reynolds Road location to help out the owner of Rice King.
Everybody's got their own problems right now, but when devastation like this happens, the community comes together and rallies.
It's an amazing feeling. Seriously, it's a feeling that Just really heartwarming, knowing they're there for us. You know, it's special.
Until 10 o'clock tonight, 20% of all sales will be donated to Rice King to help the owners rebuild and reopen. A shooter opened fire at a private Christian school in Madison, Wisconsin earlier today. Police say at least 3 people are dead, including the suspect. At least 6 others are injured. CBS News has more.
Law enforcement rushed to the Abundant Life Christian School in Madison, Wisconsin, just before 11 a.m., responding to calls of an active shooter.
Today truly is a sad day for Madison and for our country.
Madison police say multiple people were killed in the attack. They did not fire their weapons. Among the dead, a student who police believe was the shooter.
We know that the suspect shooter was a teenage student who attended the school. 2 other people have died. That died were a teacher and a teenage student.
At least 5 others were hurt and taken to the hospital. Police said their injuries range from minor to life-threatening.
There's no other threats or danger to the community. We're in the process now of what we call reunification.
Nearly 400 students from kindergarten through 12th grade attend the non-denominational school. This was their final week of classes before the Christmas break.
It's a little shocking. You always see it on TV that it happens somewhere else, and it's very scary.
Law enforcement officials say the FBI and the ATF are assisting with the investigation. Lilia Luciano, CBS News, New York.
Well, here in Northwest Ohio and Southeast Michigan, some people in Monroe are getting nerve-wracking phone calls telling them they're going to be arrested. But turns out it's a scam. The Monroe County Sheriff's Office says multiple people have reached out to them saying they've received a phone call from someone named Sergeant Moody or Brian Quinn. The person is threatening to arrest the victims for missing a court date, failing to appear for jury duty, or having a warrant, and will be placed under arrest if they don't make a payment. Now, law enforcement or other government agencies do not call people to demand money and then threaten to arrest you. If you receive a suspicious call like this, you should call the Monroe County Central Dispatch. If you notice Pemberville looking dark today, that's because power to the village was turned off. For the past year, Pemberville has been using its south substation to power the village, while a newer north substation replacing the 70-year-old one was being built. Pemberville Mayor Carol Bailey says while the planned outage is inconvenient, it saves the town trouble from an unplanned one.
An unscheduled shutdown is a threat. We need that redundancy between the two, and we just need to keep our infrastructure up to date so that we can function.
The power was set to be back on at 4 o'clock this afternoon. Many of the local businesses were closed for the day. If you're like many people, as temperatures drop this winter, you may start your car for a few minutes before leaving to warm it up. Our National Verify team looks into whether excessive idling could eventually damage your engine.
Nobody enjoys driving in a freezing cold car, so it's understandable that many drivers like to let their cars warm up for a few minutes before hitting the road. Others are concerned about damaging their cars by driving with a cold engine. Some vehicles even have remote start features that make this easier, but one Verify viewer reached out to ask if warming their car could actually damage their engine. So, let's verify. Our sources are the U.S. Department of Energy, Firestone Complete Auto Care, Smart Motors Toyota in Madison, Wisconsin, Chuck's Auto Repair in Seattle, and Napa Auto Parts. Gas-powered cars need oil to keep their engines lubricated. Chuck's Auto Repair explains when the engine is cold, gas may not evaporate completely as it combines with the air. This may lead to excess fuel in the chamber, which causes some of it to condense into the cylinder walls and strip away the lubricating oil. Our sources say this leads to more friction, which causes wear and tear and could eventually shorten the life of your engine. Instead, our sources recommend driving about 30 seconds after starting your car because the engine will warm up faster when the car is being driven. In the past, cars needed to warm up for several minutes to avoid stalling because they used a carburetor. Nearly all cars built in the last 30 years now use electronics to ensure engines get the right combination of air and fuel to run no matter what the temperature is outside. So, yes, warming your car could damage the engine. There is one exception. If you drive an electric vehicle, you may want to warm up your car before unplugging it because heating the cabin uses battery power, which can shorten your range. With your Verify, I'm Brandon Lewis.
Well, we haven't had any snow to plow yet. The city of Toledo still needs your help naming its snow plows. If you live in Toledo, you can now vote on their 8 favorite names for city snow plows. Here are the few possibilities: Furious George, Indiana Snowplow, Ohio Thaw Enforcement, and more than 70 others to pick from. The winning names will be announced on Friday, December 27th. You can find the link to vote on our website under the links mentioned tab. The holidays are here, so if you're mailing any holiday gifts, you better act fast. To have your gifts delivered in time for Christmas, the U.S. Postal Service says you need to send them out by this Wednesday. Then Saturday is the last day to send a 2-day shipment. The last day for 2 days at UPS is Friday, and for FedEx, it's Sunday. Both companies offer overnight services on the 23rd for Christmas Eve delivery. Deadlines for Amazon and other online retailers do vary. Raymer Elementary got a special visit today from the jolly old elf himself.
Merry Christmas!
Well, Santa took a break from his busy toy-making duties to stop by and visit the pre-K through 3rd graders, and they were really excited to see him. Each student who stopped by got a special book to take home. Santa also made sure to tell the kids how proud he is of all of them and all the great work they're doing this year.
We're here to see all the little ones here at Raymer Elementary School and the teachers for doing a great job all year long. And we love all the kids at Raymer Elementary School in Toledo, Ohio. Merry Christmas!
The kids got to talk to Santa and tell him what they want for Christmas. Some favorites were Pokemon, Barbie, and electric scooters. Others were hoping for something a little more high-tech like iPads. Chris?
It's a fun time of the year, and certainly looks like they were all on the nice list. Looking forward to the upcoming holiday season. What we have ahead for Tuesday: dry and mild conditions. Not going to be quite as warm as what we experienced on Monday. We're going to take a step back into the 40s. That'll still be above average, though, for this time of the year in mid-December. Radar and satellite picture, we are starting to dry things out after what was a wet Monday. Had some areas east of I-75 that reported or estimated over an inch of total rainfall. So it did come down over the past 24 hours. All showers now exiting to the east. A little bit of drizzle or a couple stray showers that are going to be possible as a cold front makes its way into the area, and that will kick the winds up and turn us toward cooler conditions. Right now, though, at the warmest point of the day as we go into the early part of the evening, we are in the mid to upper 50s. How about that for mid-December evening? Rain showers that are beginning to diminish and taper off. By tomorrow morning, that bus stop forecast dry and relatively mild. 36 is the temperature out the door. Toward outdoor recess time, I'd expect the kids could be headed outdoor, mostly cloudy skies, the peaks of sunshine, but it will be dry near 40 and we'll sneak into the lower 40s as we go after school for what is expected to be a dry Tuesday afternoon. At noon, a mix of clouds and some sunshine. That'll continue into the afternoon. Could be a little brighter on the southern half of our viewing area as we pop into the lower 40s. But the next big impact heads up toward this weekend. It is going to be a cold front that comes through with a clipper on Friday. That is going to send us yet again toward another hit of colder air. Lots of ups and downs and big swings so far this month of December, and more still in store with a couple really cold days into the weekend. So what does that trend look like at the 10-day outlook? Are you a last-minute holiday shopper and you're planning on doing it this weekend? You're going to pay for it with cold weather. Back in the upper 20s Saturday and Sunday. We dig out of that cold stretch as we get into early next week, Monday, Tuesday, and that outlook toward Wednesday, Thursday, or Tuesday, Wednesday, rather, into Christmas itself will put us toward mid-40s on Christmas Day. So what are the realistic chances of a white Christmas? We say historically an inch of snow on the ground on December 25th occurs about 1 out of 3 Christmases. 30% chance or so. We're expecting about a 10% chance. Not impossible. We're just going to say highly unlikely at this point. And beyond that, here's an early heads up about this. Extremely warm weather may be showing up toward the